last time, things were in terrible shape. Some of the nation's smartest geniuses were turning into complete idiots.
Professor, the public would like to know, what is your theory of ion imbalance in solid-state particles?
Don't bother me now. I'm watching the reruns of Pete and Gladys.
But, Professor, that's the commercial that's on now.
Yes, I know. That's the part I like best.
Within a period of weeks, America's intelligence level sank 14 points, the lowest level since 380 fishes. In Washington, there was near panic.
Dr. Flegel, we must have a meeting of the nation's remaining eggheads. Will you attend and act as chairman?
I can't.
Why not?
Mama won't let me cross the street.
In desperation, the government sent for Bullwinkle J. Moose.
And his pal Rocky.
Oh, yes, of course. Meanwhile, a few miles behind them...
Boris, darling, they got away.
I think maybe I've been working too hard, Natasha. I need a vacation.
What was that?
What was what? What was that?
I heard you bad enough.
Boris, that voice, where is it coming from?
My two-way wrist television?
A two-way wrist television.
I'll show that dick, Tracy.
Amazing.
Not so amazing. Everybody has one.
A two-way television?
A two-way wrist.
So, you want a vacation, eh, bad enough?
Boris, that is the voice of fearless leader.
You were expecting maybe Ellen Font?
I may be able to arrange a permanent vacation for you, bad enough.
Just kidding, fearless little old body boy baby doll. You know me.
Unfortunately, yes.
Ha ha, that's funny. Funny.
It wasn't supposed to be.
Oh.
Now that you have failed on your own, you will put into effect Plan X.
Plan X? Oh, no. No.
It's an order.
Plan X it is.
Signing off. Auf Wiedersehen.
You said it. You know, Natasha, fearless leader is a lying, cheating, double-crossing, vicious, no-good killer. But someday he'll go too far.
Meanwhile, as our heroes paused briefly at McKeesport, PA, a mysterious airplane flew above their train, then suddenly plunged directly at their railroad car.
Bullwinkle, that plane! It's gonna hit us!
Just because we took the train?
But at that moment, the plane dropped a large cylindrical object and zoomed upward.
Land the lakes, now what?
That must be a bomb! This is the end, Bullwinkle!
According to my watch, we still got 1 minute and 5 seconds.
And so it seemed, for a parachute suddenly popped up from the object, and as it floated down, our heroes heard a familiar voice.
Avast and belay, piped the quartermaster and left the dinghy.
Bullwinkle, that's Captain Peach Fuzz!
He sure looks different.
No, he's inside that escape pod.
And it was true. Outstepped, backwards, of course, Captain Peter Wrong Way Peach Fuzz.
Rocky, Bullwinkle, where are you?
Right behind you, Captain.
Oh, don't ever sneak up on me like that.
How come this sudden visit, Captain?
Yeah, and why the pod?
Too many starches, I guess. Oh, the pod! Well, I just had to see you.
About what?
Well, it's all in this memo.
What memo?
Oh, wouldn't you know it? I must have left the memo with the pilot.
Oh, boy.
No, that can't be. I was the pilot.
You were?
Yes. I wonder what happened to the plane after I bailed out.
Hey, I think I know.
What?
It traveled in a big loop.
Yeah?
And right now, it's coming down on our head.
Yes, sir. There it comes now. No, and oh, good heavens. Well, don't miss our next episode, Free to Go, or Crash on Delivery.
And now it's time
For 5 or 6 baritone solos in the key of E.
But
Ooh.
now for another of our special features.
Should have tried E flat.
Junior, what are you doing?
I just chopped down this old tree, Dad.
Yeah, I noticed that, but why?
'Cause my girl and I have broken up.
That is no reason to chop down a tree.
Well, you see, I carved our initials on this tree last Valentine's Day, and I don't want to have to look at them anymore.
How do you know she won't come back? Remember the old saying, he who loses faith loses all.
How did you know my girl's name was Faith?
I didn't, but I do know a fable that would help you to face the facts a little more clearly. It's called The French Poodle and the Alley Cat. Years ago, not very far from here, there stood a tiny village named Barrel City. The reason it was called Barrel City was because clothes not having been invented yet, its citizens wore a barrel.
My, that's a stunning barrel. Cracker or lard? Pickle. My, it is a dilly.
Wearing barrels had its disadvantages, however. Not only was it difficult sitting down, but everyone's barrel looked alike. That is, until a French poodle, out to seek his fortune, opened a paint shop.
I will paint my way to the pinnacle of success.
Well, sir, that started a fad. By the end of the week, everyone in Barrel City was sporting a different colored barrel, painted by the French poodle, who in turn became the fashion leader of the community.
Here, mesdames et messieurs, we have my latest creation. A polka dot barrel with matching holes and a cerise ribbon draped around the slats. Breathtaking, n'est-ce pas?
Both the poodle and his shop continued to prosper until one fine day, a seedy-looking alley cat wandered into Barrel City and had the misfortune to pass beneath a window ledge upon which rested a flower pot containing one petunia.
Look at that stunning hat!
Word spread like wildfire throughout the city that a new style of headgear had been created. The cat, quick to seize the opportunity, bought all the flower pots in town and rented a dilapidated rundown shack that happened to be right next door to the poodle's barrel shop.
Bonjour, Mademoiselle Goose.
Bonjour to you.
I suppose you're in the market for a new barrel.
Quite the contrary. The new rage is flower pot hats.
If this keeps up, I will be the Rupp-Bankted.
That night, under the cover of darkness, the poodle, carrying a can of gunpowder, stole into the alley cat's hat shack. Striking a match, he lit the fuse.
That should take care of him.
But with the dawn came the sad realization that a slight faux pas had been committed, for instead of blowing up the cat shop, he had blown up his own.
Are you having a fire sale this week?
You little stinker, you are the cause of all this. But let the bygones be the bygones. Therefore, I would like to cement our friendship.
That's okay by me.
Bon. Now, in case you did not know, you have become quite famous, and people who are famous put their footprints in cement. Step into this bucket.
The cat did, and the cement hardened fast.
Oh, tell me this. Can you swim?
Oh, sure.
With a bucket full of cement on your feet?
Oh, no.
That is all I want to know.
Wasting no further time, he dragged the helpless cat to the riverbank and pushed him in.
Au revoir!
So I got a little bad news for you, Poodle. That river's been dry for years.
Calamity followed calamity, for the townsfolk had seen the cat clomping along in his bucket full of cement, and this too caused a sensation. 2 days later, everyone was wearing this new type of shoe.
That does it. I might just as well kill myself.
But he didn't have to, for the townsfolk suddenly decided to hold a fashion contest, and the one who came up with the most ingenious design would get a contract that would set him up for life.
Good luck, Poodle.
This is my last chance.
The poodle worked feverishly and by morning had devised a new type of summer dress, which was in reality a flat tire with a moldy shower curtain hanging from it. But the alley cat was equal to the occasion, for he had created a hat consisting of a saddle studded with horse chestnuts. The poodle took one look, gasped,
Gasp!
and knew he'd run a poor second. But there was still time to act, for if he could ruin the hat before the judge saw it, he might still be victorious. There on a long banquet table sat a large vat of beef stew. It didn't sit there long. Well, sir, you'd never believe what happened. That cat still believed that his creation, even covered with beef stew, was still a winner. And he was right.
Some fable, Pop.
Well, I think it does prove that he who loses faith loses everything.
It also proves something else.
What?
If the stew fits, wear it.
And now, here's that man with a nose for news, Mr. Know-It-All.
Thanks, Rock. It's also handy for breathing and ornamental purposes. Today our subject is how to interview a scientist that is working on a secret project. We begin by finding a scientist.
Without a human subject to work on, the experiment is lost. But who would be stupid enough?
Pardon me, sir, but are you a scientist? Point 2 is to be subtle about getting to the subject of his project. If the project is secret, he may be reluctant to tell you. You doing anything interesting lately?
Certainly. Sit right here and I'll tell you all about it.
Let's see. Say, you mind if I ask you about your personal habits, problems, hobbies, and...
Certainly not. I just love to put this electronic ball on Moose's heads. It's a habit, a problem, and a hobby.
Fine. Now what about pets?
I'm glad you asked. My pet. Let's just put him here and put a nice ball on his head just like the one on yours. There.
Oh, yes. Is your current project related to the rocket field?
No.
Is your current project related to the atomic field?
No.
Well, what's the current then? The current. I want the current.
Gosh, Mr. Know-It-all, what happened? Now, how will you remember what the scientist is working on?
Oh, I can remember, Rock. I'm almost certain it is a brain transfer machine.
And now...
Hey, Rocky, watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat.
Again?
Nothing up my sleeve. Presto! No doubt about it. I gotta get another hat.
Now here's something we hope you'll really like.
Deep in the heart of the Northwest Canadian woods, a mysterious character wearing a cap and puttees was seen skulking.
There will be no skulking in these woods, sir.
So who's skulking? I'm looking for talent.
In the Northwest Canadian woods, talent for what?
For Majestic Pictures. I'm looking for a new matinee idol for the movies.
What's a movie?
Oh, I forgot you people are so remote out here, you haven't seen a movie before.
I haven't seen a movie because there is no such thing, and you, sir, are skulking.
So as I was trying to tell Dismounty, sir, I am a talent scout for Majestic Pictures, and I'm looking for the new silent matinee idol, a man who is brave, stalwart, handsome, strong.
I'm your man.
Trustworthy, cute. Say, this is him. Look at that profile.
Why, that's Snidely Whiplash.
Snidely Whiplash, eh? Has a nice ring to it. Good box office, just the man I'm looking for.
He's just the man we're looking for, too.
Majestic Pictures can do much more for him than you can, sir. Don't stand in the way to boy's career. You haven't signed him to a contract yet, have you?
Not exactly. You see, he's the most wanted man in Canada.
And I can see why, too. That chiseled nose, that firm chin. Where can I get a hold of this boy?
Do you suppose we would be standing here if we knew?
Hard to get, eh? Well, I must have that boy.
But how can you, a mere flatlander, hope to get Snidely Whiplash when the Royal Canadian Mounties have been trying to get him for years? What do you have that we haven't?
Money?
Inspector Fenwick,
Yes, Dudley.
what's a movie?
And Majestic will make me a star.
That's right, Snidely, baby. You will be the idol of millions. Sign right here, sweetie.
Halt! In the name of the RCMP, I have come, Snidely Whiplash, to bring you in because the Mounties always get their man.
Well, you're not getting this man. I just signed him to a 15-year contract with options.
Gee, 15 years. That's a pretty stiff sentence.
Snidely Whiplash went to Hollywood to star in silent movies. Overnight, he became a sensation. He was known as Snidely Whiplash, the Great Profile. He introduced the tango, which swept the country. Everybody was doing his famous tango. However, in northern Canada, Snidely Whiplash laid a bomb, mainly because the people there had never seen a movie. But his absence was sorely felt by members of the RCMP. They were becoming disenchanted.
Without Snidely Whiplash, Inspector, there's no incentive to being a Mountie. The Mounties have lost their goal in life. Why, to bring in Snidely Whiplash was the dream of every young Canadian boy.
I know, Dudley, but we must go on somehow. But on the brighter side, a new movie house has been constructed in town. Why don't we run over and take in a movie, Dudley?
What's a movie? You are under arrest, Snidely Whiplash, in the name of the Mounted Police.
Oh, come, Dudley, it's only a movie.
So that's a movie. It seemed so real, Inspector. There he was, arch-villain Snidely Whiplash.
Oh, Dudley, I hate to be a nag, but don't you think just occasionally you could bring in a man?
With Snidely Whiplash gone, they just don't seem important enough to bother with.
But then the one thing happened that none of them had foreseen. talkies.
Oh, Snidely, tell me again that you care for me. A little.
May, I would move heaven and earth for you. I would swim the deepest river, scale the highest mountain. Why are they laughing at Snidely, Inspector?
It's the voice, Dudley. Can't you see? The voice is so funny.
I don't find that it's funny at all. In fact, I think he has rather a pleasant voice.
Well, Dudley, I think this washes up Snidely Whiplash in Hollywood.
I certainly don't see why.
But you can't tear up my contract. I'm a star. And besides, my 15 years aren't up yet.
You didn't read the fine print, Snidely baby. It says, quote, in the event of talkies, if the party of the first part, that's you, talks in any manner, way, or form like Dudley Do-Right, the party of the second part, that's us, has the option to tear up the contract.
Curses foiled again. That's what happens by associating with the do-right. You do wrong.
So Snidely Whiplash had to return to northern Canada with no more than what he left, except a scrapbook. There were no cheering crowds, no band, no welcoming committee. Just one lonely figure standing on the platform. Dudley Do-Right.
Well, Dudley, I suppose you want to bring me in.
Why, no, Mr. Whiplash. All I want is your autograph.
While on their way to Washington, our heroes were stopped by Captain Wrongway Peachfuzz, who had just misplaced his jet plane.
Misplaced nothing. There it is, coming right at us.
Hey, that's right, Bullwinkle.
Yeah, but...
Sure is.
Yeah, but...
You got a pretty sharp eye there, fella.
Yeah, but...
He's right, Bullwinkle.
Will you for the cry I stop agreeing with me and move over? Boy, you fellers almost agreeable yourselves under a tombstone.
But you were right, Bullwinkle.
You sure were.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Certainly slowed the old show up, didn't we?
And, Captain, you were just about to tell us why you wanted to see us.
Well, let me see if I can find the memo. Ah, here it is.
Why are you tearing it up, Captain?
It's secret, Rocky.
But you tore it up before you read it.
I know, it's top secret.
I'll say it is. Now we'll never even know who it was from.
Sure we will.
Who?
It was from me.
Then why write a memo?
Well, what's the use of knowing a secret if you can't tell somebody?
But you sent the memo to yourself.
I know, it's a secret.
If we come by this station again, I'd like to get off.
Anyway, the memo said you're supposed to come with me to McKeesport, PA for a special job.
Right.
So let's go. I got a map right here.
But, Captain...
We'll pick up native bearers outside of Scranton.
Captain...
There's a friendly farmer near Gettysburg who'll let us stay the night.
He should. We paid his rent for 8 years.
But, Captain...
Then onward toward Wilkes-Barre.
Captain! This is McKeesport, PA.
It is?
Look at the sign on the station.
I could have sworn I was landing in Skaneateles.
But why should the government want us to go to McKeesport, PA?
Probably because it's situated at the confluence of the Monongahela and Yongiogany rivers.
Yeah, but what's that got to do with anything?
Nothing, I just like the names. Monongahela, Yongiogany.
But as they walked toward the center of town, the good captain did start to tell why they were there. As you remember, the country was facing intellectual ruin because its brainiest eggheads and double domes were reverting to being stupid clodpoles and addlepates. For instance, at a Florida missile base...
Ready for launching?
5, 4, 3, 2,
Go on, Professor.
I forgot what comes after 2.
You forgot?
Well, it's hard counting backwards.
But, Professor, what about the launch?
My mama packed it in the brown paper bag.
And in a kindergarten class...
Now, Johnny, what is this?
Doggy.
Good. Susie, what is this? Kitty. Good. Now, Dr. Smallhausen, what is this?
Wait, don't tell me. Could it be maybe a goldfish?
As a result of this strange malady, U.S. brain power was lagging badly. Hartford University had to cancel its commencement when it found that the chancellor had signed all the diplomas with an X.
But, sir, why with an X?
It's prettier than a Z.
But what's all this got to do with us being in McKeesport, PA?
Well, I'll tell you, Rocky, it's
Yes?
time for ding-dong school.
And the captain dashed into a nearby television sales room, plunked himself down before a set, and refused to budge.
Bullwinkle, it's happened to Captain Peachfuzz. Whatever it is, he's got it.
You mean he's had it?
Apparently so. Well, does this mean that the boys are stranded permanently in McKeesport, PA?
What a way to die!
Things should be clearer next time in McKeesport on the Prod or the Pennsylvania Poker.
Hello out there in TV land. Welcome to the big Bullwinkle and Rocky Fan Club Benefit Telethon. Yes, sir, you're gonna see such names as Bob Hope, Marlon Brando, Jane Mansfield, and Perry Como. But that's all you're gonna see, their names. For guests, we've got Rocket J. Squirrel, Boris Bedanov,
It's going to be really big shoe.
and our telephone girl, Natasha Fatal. The number to call with your donations is Sucker92222, or if that's busy, call Shakedown 56565. That's the Chinese restaurant downstairs. They'll take a message. But now, here's our first performer.
Good evening, fans.
What are you going to do for us today, Boris?
For a start, I do a few impersonations.
Impersonations?
Sure, once I got 2 years for impersonating officer.
Well, who are you going to do first?
Really silly character.
Who's that?
Bullwinkle Moose. Listen.
Phone in your donations to the Bullwinkle and Rocky Telethon, friends. Hey, how'd you do that? This is my natural voice.
This is funny accent.
Say, Natasha, how are the phone calls coming?
2 wrong numbers. 4 orders for chop suey. $10 for a show? Or $10 to show on Captain Red in 4th race.
The chubbies.
Rocky, how much money have we got?
We're 10 cents in the hole, Bullwinkle.
In the hole?
I gave Boris Badenoff a dime for the parking meter.
Okay, I give extra bonus impersonation. This time, Sonny Tufts.
Sonny Tufts!